Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm playing in the Waffenträger auf E100. If you're wondering why this vehicle's in the game, because you missed out on the Waffenträger event that just happened a week ago, everyone still has rentals at least for the next few days if you haven't managed to use them up already. So I've been playing a few games here and there in the WTF E100. I actually still have 30 games left and I believe the rentals end on Monday. Am I really going to end up playing this tank 30 times? Don't think that's the case. The WTF E100 is a legend in World of Tanks, and I've talked about it substantially on the channel last week where we had a monster game featured. Today, it's not going to be about the WTF E100 being exactly a monster, even though I do expect we're still going to see this vehicle's tremendous capabilities. It's going to be when this tank isn't enough. So, I think in today's video I want to talk about as well what I think about the WTF E100 being back now that we've actually had it on the battlefield for a week. Okay, so firstly, it hasn't exactly destroyed the game. Let's be honest, you don't really see too many of them, probably because it was a rental and the only customers that managed to get a lot of them were actually Wargaming's paying customers, the ones who bought a lot of the loot crates or re-rolled them a lot and spent a lot of gold on the crates that they purchased to be able to get those 50 extra rentals in addition to the 5 that everybody could get through playing the Waffenträger game mode. So the matchmaker definitely wasn't destroyed. However, I will say that I had many deaths to WTF E100s where it just felt like it wasn't really fun and it wasn't really very fair. And if this vehicle was to go into the game in this shape or form, I think it would just make the game worse. When you stack all of your statistics in being able to just dump out a ridiculous amount of damage in a short period of time at the expense of being fairly immobile, but more importantly having an awful turret on the vehicle like this, I think it's just poor game design. But if you set an ambush and you wait, what is this 268 version 4 going to do? That's his entire tank in 4 shots, and I have an extra one for the E100. I just dealt 2,803 damage just like that. Oh, to be fair, it did take me 8 seconds to be able to unload that damage. It's come at the expense of the ST1's death. And unfortunately, that's what this vehicle is. It's an incredibly selfish predator of the battlefield that uses its allies to be able to make big damage plays. And while I would say trading a tier 9 tank for a tier 10 and half of another tier 10 is kind of a good trade, it's not nice for the ST1, right? Imagine if I'd been the 268 version 4. I could afford alongside him, there wouldn't be someone praying at the back, just using a tier 9 heavy tank as a distraction to be able to get a big amount of damage in. And also, what was that 268 version 4 going to do? Just not actually play the game because he thought that there could be a tank? We miss our first shot on the IS-4, put our second one in, we get hit by their IS-4, put a second round in, a third one in, and unfortunately the SU manages to finish me off. And while we managed to add an extra 3 shells to our tank, and we managed to pick up 4,500 damage in the first 3.5 minutes of this battle by kind of camping, waiting for an ambush, I probably could have played that fight cleaner. But I thought I'd use my hit points because as soon as my opponents managed to get into this position, it's all going to be over. The real problem here was the fact that there was an SU-130 sitting in the bush there that you can see that I ping and I let my team know. And I left this game thinking, well, you know, it's probably going to be a bit of an easy one. My team is now ahead by 6,000 hit points, but remember, we can't see the other side of the map. But this was quintessential WTF E100 gameplay. You play selfishly, you do a big amount of damage. I fired a load of gold rounds with premium consumables to be able to achieve it, and I moved on. But what I didn't realize is the heroics that one player in particular was going to have to be able to get us through this game. So while this was happening, and I was playing the Waffenträger auf E100, cowering in the corner trying to get my final magazine in before my imminent death that we saw, there was MayorOfMcCheese playing his SDB-1 on the other flank, trying to hold back the enemy's advance. MayorOfMcCheese playing this tier 10 Japanese medium tank with its voracious DPM and up to 14 degrees of gun depression is going to show you exactly what damage per minute, flexibility, and fairly good gun handling is going to be able to give you. MayorOfMcCheese is using vents with a gun rammer and also vertical stabilizers on this vehicle, and they're even using a bond directive as well. So you are seeing a very scary STB-1 here. And then we can see QuickyBaby dying in the Waffenträger Alfie 100. And my name in this game was Käsesoße0. Yeah, I don't even know what that means, but maybe, is it German? Maybe, possibly. If it is, hello, my German audience. Let me know what it means, and hopefully I'm not going to be alarmed. Great shot there, as MayorOfMcCheese is showing you exactly what the STB-1 does, and that is put out a tremendous amount of damage, be great on a ridgeline, and already up to 3 kills. And yeah, when I left this game, I thought that with the amount of hit points that we had as an advantage, I thought this was going to be super simple. But as you can see, what you have to really take into account is that you don't update the team's hit point total unless your team are within render distance. And so that means that MayorOfMcCheese was probably thinking, oh, I've got my work cut out for me on this one. I got to pull back a kill disadvantage and also many thousands of hit points. But slowly but surely, as you see the weakened E100, the weakened IS4, and hopefully the SU-130PM, who's lost a few hit points, will appear, that suddenly the hit points at the top of the screen will start to change. So MayorOfMcCheese already picked up their 5th kill in this game with 3,700 damage, now turns their attention to the Szpotok on the enemy team. This is a tier 8 Czechoslovakian tank destroyer, and as long as there's no low rolls, that is going to be a top gun immediately. But what I like about MayorOfMcCheese is they're willing to commit, they're willing to be aggressive, and also, as we're going to see, they realize when they need to take it upon themselves to win this game. Lots of people might think about going and trying to take the cap circle in this scenario, but that's not really going to work when you're by yourself. You have to take it upon yourself to defend as long as you know you're going to be able to make it back. I personally like to take a turbo on the STB-1 instead of vertical stabilizers, but even I have to admit, with this vehicle's great rate of fire and its less than amazing gun handling, that vertical stabilizers take this vehicle to the next level. The only problem is when you're kind of driving around like this feels oh so slow for a medium tank at tier 10, and I just got to hope that MayorOfMcCheese is going to have enough to be able to get back. What a beautiful shot there on the move into the side of the IS-4 while 10 seconds left, focusing on their objective, which is to get back, interrupt the cap with 5, 4, 3, resets, gets the SU-130PM that finished me off, then manages to shut them down, then turn their attention to the E100, who luckily appears on 88 hit points from the damage that we dealt to them earlier. And that allows MayorOfMcCheese to not only get the 34 base defense points, to get the 88 base defense points on top of that, and turn their attention to an E75, which they're shutting down in record time. And when the STB-1 gets going, boy does this tank get going, finishing off the tier 9 German heavy tank, and also now going after the IS-4. And on 9 kills, MayorOfMcCheese, is he going to get one of the best medals you can get in the game? Oh, he is. MayorOfMcCheese, ice cold under pressure here, managing to put the team on the back, destroy 2/3 of all of the enemy vehicles, and yeah, definitely driving around like an orc on this battlefield. A huge warg was in effect here, although a warg is usually multiple vehicles. I don't think that's really the case here. It was more of a case of MayorOfMcCheese just absolutely dominating in their Japanese medium tank. And MayorOfMcCheese, the reason why I wanted to feature this game here, and thank you so much for sending it to me, is it's so unusual for players to get so many kills in games that I am in. Because I'd like to think that I've either pulled enough weight so that nobody needs to really carry as hard as you had to in this game. But at least I managed to weaken them a little bit for you, and thank you very much for carrying your pants off in this round and picking up your first ever Pools medal. I sent a message after the game in amazement of MayorOfMcCheese's 10 kill carry here. Thank you very much for giving me the replay. It was an absolute pleasure to watch and enabled me to see your new record kill count of 10 vehicles in the STB-1. And if you keep playing like that, MayorOfMcCheese, this isn't going to be your only Pools medal in World of Tanks. So this game was just a filthy Waffenträger doing filthy Waffenträger things, drives less than 500 meters into a position, and then claps a couple of vehicles worth of hit points from it, before exposing itself and losing all of its hit points to be able to deliver them in a single salvo. My damage was eclipsed by MayorOfMcCheese's 6,800, and I only managed to get 1 frag in this game while Mayor of McCheese, of course, picked up that Pools medal. The only thing I didn't like here was the amount of premium rounds that Mayor McCheese was firing. But you know what? When you got to hard carry a game and hit every single one of your shots, yeah, I think making 60,000 credits profit is a good result. So, Mayor of McCheese, once again, congratulations to you for keeping calm and carrying the QuickyBaby inside this game of World of Tanks. It was a pleasure to share in your first ever Pools medal. And thank you so much for sending me the replay so I could see exactly how you managed to do so. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it's released on Sunday, it's time for the World of Tanks Tech Tree Showcase later on today on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And this week, I'm going to be featuring the top of the tree, WZ-111-5A. So come along as we see why this well-rounded Tier 10 heavy tank is a vehicle that a lot of people overlook in the meta and why it can be very dominant, especially in the Onslaught game mode that's going on right now. And if you're a little bit mystified by the Chinese heavy tank tech tree, I'll be giving you a few tips and tricks along the way. And also, now that the Waffenträger is starting to fizzle out, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about its introduction into the game. Do you think it made the matchmaking worse? Or did you feel like it was just a little bit of fun to have on the battlefield? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic and hopefully I'll see you soon.